Hi guys, so as you may know, most of you, some of you, I don't know, I recently got the GKS scholarship. That's the GKS program. I'm a scholar basically, and I want to tell you guys or explain to you guys everything I did to get it. So that is what I did to win the GKSG program 2025. You don't have to do exactly what I did. You can just take this as a guide or something. I wrote everything down. Oh my god, it's a lot, and I just even summarized them, but I'm going to be explaining this video, so this video might be a little bit long. So in that case, I'm going to put timestamps so that it will be easy for you guys to navigate this video. If you are new to my channel, kindly subscribe. But if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back, and I hope you like and share this video to whoever might need it. How did I find out about the scholarship? So back in 2021, ASU was on strike, and I was not back to school, so there was a long break. University of Lagos. So I was at home and I was just scrolling online on YouTube.
You guys, I'm tired of staying at home. There's no scholarship I was looking to apply for, but I don't know anymore. I mean, I'm still looking for more scholarships though. I'm going to check Google now. I saw a few universities that offer scholarships online, so I'm going to try to research about it and but there's one I wanted to apply for that I supposed to apply for this month, but there's a problem. No problem per se. I just feel to convince my dad properly. I don't know. It feels like, some people are doing productive things. I'm trying to do productive things. I'm doing photography and that photography self. I don't even see. I don't know. I don't know about anything anymore. It's so I don't know how to explain it. It's crazy, man. Anyways, I want to check for scholarships that will need my father's approval. Maybe leave and run away. I just want to leave this country. I'm tired.
And I saw Excel journals. So it's funny because right now we are following each other on Instagram, but back then I did not know who she was. She did not know who I was. So, anyways, I was scrolling through YouTube and I stumbled upon one of her videos that she did with a fellow GKS scholar, and they were talking about what they did to get it and everything. And I was so intrigued that I did not even know that something like this was even in existence. And then it had been going on for years that I did not even find out about it. Probably before 2000, I don't even know. So I researched about it, I watched a lot of videos, and I was like, oh, I'm going to apply. And I told my parents, and they said no, because I was doing my undergraduate studies at the University of Lagos. I was in year 3 last semester, that's second semester, but I was so done because ASU was on strike and I was just mentally not in Unilag anymore, and I wanted to just leave. But my parents said no, and back then, even though they said no, I was still like, no, I want to apply. And I checked the guidelines. I wrote my statement of my personal statement, my study plan. I wrote everything, within like a week or so. And I checked the guidelines again and I realized that, oh, I can't even apply because I need money to authenticate, legalize. And if I ask my parents, they'll tell me no because they already told me no, not to apply. So I just dead the idea. But even though I dead the idea for GKS, I was still looking for other scholarships, maybe United States or Canada, but I did not find any that I qualified. So that's how I found out about GKS. And fast forward to 2024, I wanted to apply in 2024, but I had to go and serve. My father told me to go and serve. I had to serve because I graduated 2023/2024. I did my convocation 2024 January, so I had to serve. Yeah, so I finished my service 2024 November, October, and then that's when I started my application process for 2025, and that's where we are now. When to start preparing? So you need to start preparing as early as possible. Like I said, I found out about the scholarship in 2021, so I had known about it. I had written my personal statements and study plan, and then I knew tangible, like good enough information about this program, and I started preparing for that. But then I could not apply, and then I waited. So during that wait time, I was just watching videos and accumulating a lot of research materials concerning this scholarship. So just start as soon as possible. Start preparing your personal statement for the graduate program. It opens in February, so you can start preparing like July of the previous year or August, September of the previous year. You also need to fill the form. So when you are applying, so during the time when I was preparing my documents, gathering it, I had already filled the form because that's the form of 2024. I was using that to practice, and then when the application form came out proper, I filled the other one, the 2025 form. So you can just fill the form. If you're applying for 2026 program, for the 2026 program, you can fill the 2025 form to use that as a guide, so that you will not make mistakes, and then you know what to put here, what not to put here. You use that to check online and check YouTube how to actually fill this form. You need to fill your form properly, accurately, and then you can check my videos. I made a video of me filling the form, signing it, and packaging it. So you need to fill the form online, like on any Word software, maybe WPS or MS Word, and then you print it out and sign with your hand. That makes it original. Don't sign online, or don't use virtual signature or digital signature. They will not accept that. You have to sign with your hand with a blue pen. If you use black pen, it is going to look like you printed it, like you signed online and printed it. So you need to use like a blue pen. That's what I did. So I wrote my personal statement like for this 2025 program. I wrote it like, I think July, August, September, that period. I wrote my personal statement. My study plan, I wrote my study plan a week to when I wanted to submit, a week or 2 weeks to when I wanted to submit, because my study plan from 2021 that I wrote back in 2021 was still very good. Although I did add some things and constructed English better, but my study plan then was intact. I just made sure to construct it well and added some things that I did, like my study plan, language study plan and all that, added to it. But my personal statement, I started working on it way before I had even gathered my documents. And then the tips I'll give for your personal statement is just sell yourself. Know how to sell yourself. Make sure the first paragraph of your personal statement has a hook. I made sure my first paragraph was a hook. I got messaged by Studio Dragon, one of South Korea's top production companies, on Instagram to feature one of my videos on Queen of Tears special broadcast. I put that as the first paragraph, and that was hooky enough. So make sure you have a hook to be able to make them read, because they're getting a lot of applications, so you need to keep them reading. Make yourself stand out. Identify why you should be picked, because there are so many other applicants that might be stronger than you. Their profile might be stronger than yours. So just put your strengths, your weaknesses, and then what you've learned from all your experiences. And then also check YouTube videos. I watched a lot of YouTube videos. I watched people's, because some scholars posted their personal statements online, and I watched that. I watched a lot of YouTube videos, TikTok videos talking about personal statements, how to do this, how to do that. I watched a lot of that before I now started mine, although I had a draft. So I had a lot of drafts. So just keep writing. When you write, you read it in the next day or next 2 days, you see, oh, you need to edit something. So just keep reading your personal statement, and that way to stick to your head, because when you eventually pass the first round and you do interviews, you need to know your personal statement. So don't give it to somebody to write for you. Nobody can know your experiences more than you. You can just give it to somebody to proofread. I gave it to a friend of mine that I'm very, very grateful for. She does proofreading for essays and all the CVs and stuff, but she did it for me as per she wanted to help me, and I was so grateful for that. She proofread my personal statements. I did not give it to any scholar because I did not even know where to find them. Until now, I just realized I can find them on Facebook. So if you can find some scholars to help you proofread your personal statements, you can do that. I also proofread it online, like Grammarly and all those things, to check my grammar, to check my sentence structure, my paragraph structure, and every other thing. So just make sure you watch a lot of videos talking about personal statements, and read the guidelines as well. In the guidelines and the forms, they put instructions of how you can write your essays. They put like topics to talk about, so that is good enough for you to start with. Like, it's a good push on what to write. So now let's talk about language proficiency. For this scholarship, one of the requirements is, although not necessary or compulsory, but if you have it, you get extra points. Language proficiency test. If you have IELTS, if you have TOPIK, that's the Korean proficiency. If you have TOEFL, you get extra points above other applicants. But I did not submit anything because, first of all, topic, I did not find out about topic early enough to prepare for it and then go to Abuja, because I stay in Lagos and Abeokuta. So I did not prepare enough for it to travel and study and write it. You get. So, and then IELTS and TOEFL are very expensive, way beyond my budget. So I was like, should I apply? Should I not apply without it? But I was like, let me just apply without it, because I've seen testimonies of people that said they applied without it and I got it. So I was like, I can also apply without it and get it. But if you have the opportunity to write it, topic is actually way cheaper. If you know Korean language, or you are learning, you can start with topic 1, topic 2. If you have topic 1, you can get points for that, although it is not as high as when you have topic 3 or 4 or 5. So just make sure that you have, not even make sure, if you don't have it you can apply, but if you have the money to do it, to write it, or this language proficiency stuff, you can write it. But if you don't have the money, you can also apply. Just make sure that other areas of your application is strong enough, like your personal statement. That one is important, like they, because they want to know about you, they don't know you. Your personal statement, your grades is also so there's like a grade limit, and then your age. There are so many requirements. Just read the guidelines very well, and then you know if you're eligible or not, and then you know how to strengthen yourself in some certain areas. Gathering awards and certificates. So in your personal statement, you are selling yourself, right? And then what you are writing about yourself, your experiences. For instance, if you write that you went to a business school and then you got certificates, you have to show that certificate. So that is what the section of awards and certificates are for. So for me, I submitted 28 different certificates. There are some things I did, like volunteer activities or achievements of mine that I don't have certificates for. What I did was I took screenshots of them, like I have pictures of them or pictures of myself in those activities. I took those pictures and I put it in a collage and I printed it on an A4 paper and I wrote a caption on it, just like this. So you can do that. I put there are some courses I took on Coursera, language courses, film courses, that's courses related to my major and things I'm interested in. I put them all in. I put my Korean influencer certificate, so that's K influencer, honorary reporter certificate. I think I have like 5 different certificates from honorary reporter, K influencer. I put everything there. Then ALU creators program, I have a certificate from that. That's the KCC and ALU creators program. I put it there. And then what else? My NYC certificates, my membership for CDS certificates, my certificate of achievement, because I participated in a competition in my CDS and won. I put the certificates there. I put my high school my high school testimonial, even though it was not necessary. I put it there because it stated there that I was the head girl and then I was in press club, and that is kind of relating to my major. So I put it there. I put my sports certificate, because in high school I did not really do sports in university, but in high school I did. I got silver in one, I got bronze in one, so I have 2 different certificates for that. I put it there. And then volunteer activities, even the ones I went for and the ones I organized, I took pictures of those volunteer activities. I put it there. And then the message I got from Studio Dragon, I took screenshot, I put it there. My conversations with, like, video calls I've done with Koreans that I wrote in my personal statement and my study plan, I took screenshots of those. I put it in a collage, printed it on an A4 paper. What else did I put for my awards? Back then, my brother used to make film, like movies, and then I used to follow him. I went to find pictures. Thank God I took pictures of, that, like 2013 or so. I took pictures, I posted on my old Instagram. I went to look for the old Instagram. I took those pictures and I put it in a collage, because I wrote about it in my personal statement. I did not want it to look like I was lying, that, oh, did she really follow her brother to set, like, 10 years ago, 12 years ago. So I went to find those pictures and I put it in, I printed on an A4 paper to serve as evidence, basically. And then in my final year in the University of Lagos, I got an award for best use of social media. That is also relating to my major. I put it there. Some seminars I've gone for that I got certificates for as a volunteer, I put it there. And then, yes, I also put screenshot of my social media platforms, because I'm a K-drama critic, reviewer, and K-drama world basically. So, and I post content about that, and I have like thousands of followers and views and communities. I took screenshots of that, I put it there. The K-drama monologue I participated in the contest, I took screenshot of that, I put it in. I participated in 2023, 2024, and I was one of the winners for both years. I put it there because it's an achievement. And then I participated in a photo contest where I submitted photographs I took for to KCCN, and I won. And then my picture was used in a Korean calendar. I also put it there. It is relating to my major, it is relating to Korea, and it is relating to extracurricular. And I put the payment receipt because I also got paid from them, like the korea.net, that's the Ministry of Culture and Tourism, something. I got paid. I put everything there. So I think that impressed them, I would say, because my grades were not so great. I'm not going to say that. It is embarrassing. My grades were not so great, and I did not have any language proficiency, but other areas of my documents were, good enough. Find everything relating to your major, everything relating to volunteer activities, everything relating to sporting activities, not just around school, things like extracurricular basically. Find those certificates and put it, but make sure they are relating to your major in one way or another. Okay. So another way to start preparing is to inform your professor about recommendation letter, because one of the requirements is to submit recommendation letter from your professor. You can submit one or more, but the minimum is one. I submitted just one from my professor from the University of Lagos. You can also submit one from your employer if you're working. So from my professor, I messaged him actually quite late because I was banking on my final year's project supervisor. I was banking on him because he already told us, like his students, that, oh, if you need recommendation letter, we should call him or message him or come to see him at the office. And I called him and he told me he was on sabbatical. He was all the way in Delta State, or I think Delta or Benin State. And I cannot go the way, and I needed to collect this recommendation letter, like physically. It cannot be signed online, like he had to and sign it, if you get. So I could not, use my professor. I had to find another professor. And I remember that, I have a staff advisor for my final year CSR project. And I contacted him and he was, so happy to help me. And I got my recommendation letter, like, I think in February, if I got it, that was the month of applying. The recommendation letter is in Form 5 of the application. So you need to fill the part where they say applicant should fill it, and then leave the rest for your recommender. You take it to him. You tell him to recommend for you. There are also instructions that they can, decide to follow, like templates. You tell your professor to write it for you. You can either use a letterhead separately or write it on the form. You will make 4 copies of the same thing and sign on everything, and then you fold it. So if, for instance, this is Form 5, after filling the part where you're supposed to fill, you give your recommender the rest to fill it, like to fill his own details in. He can choose to write your recommendation letter in this Form 5, but what I did is I gave him this form to fill. He did not write any recommendation here. He wrote it on another letterhead, on the University of Lagos's letterhead. He wrote it here and then not actually write it, he typed it on, but you get what I mean. So he made 4 copies. So 1, 2, 3, 4 recommendation, and then this was the form. And then after that, he signed on everything and signed, and then he folded it and put it in an envelope, and he signed across the flap, the flap of the envelope that you seal, because it has to be sealed. He signed across it, so because if they open it, they will know that, oh, this has been opened. So he has to sign across it, and then he gave it to me. So that envelope was what I attached on A4 paper. So you can check my video where I put how to arrange your documents. Everything is there in details. So the next thing is how I chose my universities. So I selected 3 universities: Dongso, Dongguk, and Kyongsung University. And I selected them based on the fact that, okay, I want to study this major. And then which schools are offering this major? What do they specialize in? Dongso specializes in film, visual content. Dongguk, the same thing. Kyongsung specializes in, I think, mechanical engineering or chemical engineering, civil engineering or something, and then film as well, and many other majors. So I focused on my major, I did not focus on university. Some people just want to go to all these Sky universities like Seoul National University, Korea University, Yonsei University, and then they start looking for majors in that university. No, look for your major, understand that okay, this is what you want to study, this is what you have passion for. You have your documents that can back this up, and then look for schools that are offering that. Also consider the acceptance rate of the school. Dongso University has a lot of, like, a high acceptance rate. They accept students, especially in the film department. I checked the university file. You can check the university file. Everything is in the studyinkorea.go.kr website. Study it, check university. I read through, like, I knew what I wanted to study, so I was checking every university in that file, everything from A to Z. Type A universities, type B universities, I was checking them, and then I selected the ones that best suited my passion and best suited for me, basically. So go to the university file, check the dormitories. That is also a good factor. Check the dormitories, how they cater for international students, and if they do international student festivals, all those things. Check, everything is important, so you can narrow it down to the schools you want, and then the schools that offer what you want, and then make your selection from that. And then watch youtube videos of these schools. Watch them. Scholars that are already there, they post vlogs, and then their experiences. Watch these videos. It will also help you. Go to the school's website as well. Check their information there, the school's website, their Instagram pages, YouTube, everything. I was there stalking them. If it's possible for them to be seeing me as I was checking every day, I'm sure they'll be like, stop now, you're stalking us, it's okay. I was always checking. Even after I had submitted my application, I was still checking to make sure that okay, I selected the right schools. You can also use ChatGPT to help. ChatGPT also helped me. So all the schools I had selected, I think I had selected like 10 at first, because I needed to just select 10 or 15 or so. I took everything to ChatGPT to weigh the pros and cons, to see which ones specialize in like film, practical aspect of film, and then how they cater for their students, international students, and then the dormitory fees. Just make your research and search online, YouTube, how to select the best school, how to do this. That's what I did. That's everything I did, and I selected my 3 schools. When you're selecting your university, you can also contact the university that you wish to go to. Mail them like, oh, I want to know about so department. Are they selecting international students? I mailed the 3 universities I picked, but then Ole Kyungsung got back to me. They were like, oh, I should mail them at a later date, but I did not eventually mail them because I was like, I already know what I know, what I want to know. So you can choose to mail them, and then you can also choose the schools depending on how fast they reply you, or answer your mail. Kyungsung University replied me in 2 working days. Like, they replied my mail fast. Dongguk did not reply, Dongso did not reply, but I still applied to those schools. Why? Because their acceptance rate is high. So just weigh the pros and cons. So apart from the application form, apart from personal statements and your study plan, there are other required documents that you need to get. So when you read the application form and the guidelines, you will see these things. So I'm going to just talk about the ones that apply to me, because not everything is applicable to master's degree students. Some are applicable to PhD or research students. For me, I'm talking about what I did as a master's degree applicant. So the first thing I got was my birth certificate. I already had my birth certificate, so I went to my house in Lagos around November 2024 to get it. For a family relationship document, I used my birth certificate. It included my parents' names in it. So your family relationship document has to include your parents' names, because they want to see who is your father, who is your mother, who are your guardians and everything. So they want to see this in your family relationship document. So I used my birth certificate. I also got my parents' proof of citizenship. I used their international passport. You can also use your parents' NIN slip. But if you use their NIN slip, you will need to authenticate it, okay? But if you use international passport, you don't need to authenticate it. I also took that in November when I went to Lagos 2024. I took pictures of it because I could not take their passport back to Abeokuta, because I live in Abeokuta. So I took pictures of it and printed it out. And then my international passport, I use that as my proof of citizenship, because I also need to submit proof of citizenship, maybe NIN or national ID card. I use my international passport. I did not need to authenticate it. I already have my international passport because my dad he just retired from the Nigerian Immigration Service, so we all have our international passport. So another required document is graduation certificate. My certificate was ready since 2024, that's early 2024, but I could not collect it because I had to go and serve. It took some time to collect it. So I collected it in November when I was gathering all my documents. I collected it. So I graduated from the University of Lagos, and transcript is not easy to get. Some universities, they can give you when you're graduating, but they only give us certificates. So I had to apply. So I applied for my transcript October 28th, 2024. I read on Twitter, oh, they will take 4 months to give you, and I was like, 4 months? I need to apply for this thing in 4 months. But God so good, mine was ready in 1 month, but I went through a lot. So I applied for it on October 28th, 2024, and I applied for them to send it to a school, because they cannot send it to students personally, to personal email addresses. So I messaged somebody from a school that I know that, oh, can you help me collect it, since he was working in the school, and they said no, the email address was not acceptable. And then that was after 5 days. They told me, oh, it's not acceptable. I'm like, you made me wait for 5 days. You should have told me immediately I put the email address. But that's by the way. I went to the school to complain, and I was like, oh, what's going on? They said, oh, I have to reapply. I said, what of the money I've spent? They say, okay, if I can find a genuine email address, and I could not find a genuine email address, so I had to reapply. And then when I reapplied, I selected the NIPOST method instead of email address, so they had to send it to the Ministry of Education. So I reapplied on November 11, 2024, and then it was delivered to the Ministry of Education by December 17th. So it took 1 month, 6 days for them to deliver it, and I was so grateful. I was like, thank God, because I heard stories that it can take more than that. Before they delivered it, it was taking too long, 1 month and 6 days. I was panicking because I wanted to authenticate and legalize. I had to go to the school again. That was going on. They said, okay, they're working on it, that is almost ready, that they will soon send it. I said, okay. And then by December 17, 2024, they had already sent it. It had gotten to the Ministry of Education. The last required document I needed to get was my WAEC certificate. I did not have my WAEC certificate. I messaged one of the admins from my high school, that secondary school, that, oh, I need the certificate. Oh, so they had it delivered to me from Lagos, because I schooled in Lagos, to Abeokuta, and it was delivered to me on December 19th. I was so grateful because everything was falling into place. It was like God was designing it, like, okay, this will happen, this will happen, this. So I got my document ready in November, December, authenticated December, January, and then applied February. Okay, but then don't be like me. You can do this months before. I don't know. Okay, because of money. Yes, I was waiting for this huge sum of money to start applying, because you need money. I will even get to the money part because I spent a lot. So after I collected my WAEC certificate, I took all my documents. That is WAEC, my birth certificates. These are the ones you need to authenticate: WAEC certificate, birth certificate, transcript, and your graduation certificate. I took it to a bus park in Abeokuta here, and then they helped me to wheel it to Abuja, and then the man, that's the agent, he collected it from the park in Abuja. So the authentication process did not really take time, but now there's a new rule, because some people are authenticating fake certificate and fake documents. So now the ministry said, if you want to authenticate, your school has to send them an email that, okay, yes, this person graduated from our school, oh yeah, authenticate them. So that took some time. And then the agent was really, really helpful. I don't know if I should recommend him, because what if it's not helpful to you? I don't want to carry that burden on my head. So after my school sent the email to the Ministry of Education, the agent went ahead with the authentication, and then it was festive period because I authenticated December, so I could not get my document fast, and then December period, so I had to wait till January the next year. So early January, I got back my authenticated documents. To authenticate, you need to go to the Ministry of Education first, and then you need to go with your WAEC certificate. So that's why I needed a WAEC certificate. GKS did not require WAEC certificates, but Ministry of Education in Nigeria required a WAEC certificate to prove that, okay, you went to high school and you did WAEC and you graduated. Ministry of Education first, then Ministry of Foreign Affairs for authentication. The citizen stamp I did, it is not compulsory to do citizen stamp if you are going to legalize at the Lagos Korean Embassy. But if you are doing in Abuja, you will need to do citizen stamp and other requirements. You can mail them to find out, but I really don't know because I did not go through that process. So for the Lagos Korean Embassy, they required, for legalization, they required proof of ownership of documents. So you need to go and get affidavits showing that you are the owner of all the documents you want to legalize. And then you can do that at a court or go to a lawyer, they can do that, or a notary public, they can do that for you. And then you carry those documents to the Korean Embassy, either in Abuja or in Lagos. So Ministry of Education and Ministry of Foreign Affairs, their headquarters is in Abuja. So you need to go to Abuja to authenticate. Okay? For me, I don't like stress, and I did not even have up to that, because to go to Abuja to authenticate, I would have spent 100k plus, like almost 150. Accommodation, transport fare, feeding. I'll stay for like a few days because it might not be ready in one day. They might tell me to come back. So I could not go through that stress when I found somebody that could do it for me for 80k. Although the person did not do legalization, I wanted to legalize in Lagos because the requirements to legalize in Abuja is way more than the requirements to legalize in Korean embassy in Ikoyi. So I wanted to legalize in Lagos, and I wanted to do it myself so I could document it too. Just know that you can actually do the authentication and legalization yourself, but if you don't like the stress, you can find a trusted agent to do it for you. I found a trusted agent, although I did not even trust him. I trusted God in him. So for authentication, let me explain quickly how it goes. Assuming this is your original certificate given to you by your school, you make a photocopy of this. It can be colored, it can be black or white. The agents that helped me to make a photocopy, he did not make a clear photocopy. I was really like disoriented that we didn't accept it, but thankfully I was able to put a clearer, authenticated and legalized photocopy. So assuming this is your certificate given to you by your school, you make a photocopy of this, let it be clear, and then let's say this is the photocopy you made. This is what the ministries would authenticate on, although they will sign on this, but they will authenticate on this. So this photocopy will serve as your original. So I did CTC stamp on this one, okay, and then after the CTC stamp, I took it to the Korean embassy either in Abuja or Lagos, and then they will sign on this one. After they legalized on this, I went to print 3 more. 1, 2, 3. So now there are 4. Okay, so I think I skipped something. After I authenticated my WAEC certificate, my birth certificate, my academic transcript and my graduation certificate, I found out that the names of my parents on my birth certificate were not the same on their international passports, and that can be an issue. I even mailed NIID and they said the names have to tally. Assuming my mom's name is Mary John Doe, on my birth certificate it was Mary Doe. On our international passport it was Mary John Doe. So I had to do an affidavit that, oh, this is also a name, explaining the discrepancy, that okay, this is also a name, blah blah blah. So I did affidavit for my mom and for my dad because both their names were different on my birth certificate and their international passports. It has to be the same thing as their international passport. Also, the names you are using to apply for the scholarship has to be the same on your proof of citizenship. That's either your NIN or your international passport or your national ID card. So when I realized that, I was so grateful that I had not submitted yet. I realized that, oh, my parents' name are different, and then they said I needed to do affidavit for both of them, and then I needed to authenticate and legalize it. So I took those documents again all the way to Abuja to authenticate. So extra money, extra authentication money, extra transport money, extra waybill money. So it's a lot. So I authenticated their affidavit and I added it to the documents I went to do CTC stamp for and legalize at the Korean embassy in Lagos. Understood? Okay. So after I had authenticated, legalized my documents, packaged my awards and certificates, the application form, my personal statement, everything. I have a video on how I packed everything and my journey, everything. Like I put it in a playlist, it's on my channel, so check that. So after I packed my documents, I did 4 copies of each document. That's 4 sets. So I printed 4 copies each. I had certificates, I did extra 3, that's 4, because I submitted 4 sets because I went through embassy track. So I packed my document and I sent it to the Korean Cultural Center Nigeria. For some other countries, you have to send it to the Korean embassy, but since the Korean embassy and the KCCN, as the Korean Cultural Center Nigeria, are working hand in hand, so we got to submit it to the Korean Cultural Center Nigeria. I think that's where we ought to submit it in Nigeria. So I sent it to KCCN, and that is how my GKS journey began. You can check everything on my page. I have videos about it. I was documenting. So my advice for you guys that want to apply, or next year or next 2 years, read the guidelines. Everything you could ever want or know about this thing is in the guidelines. I read the guidelines like 1 million times, and I'm not even capping. I read it. Even when I thought I had read it enough, I still read it. Even when I had submitted my documents, I still read it. I still read the guidelines. Read the guidelines, because some people can't even give false information. Me, I'm giving information but based on what I experienced. Okay, some people might want to read the guidelines for you that, oh, this is what you should do. They might be wrong. Read the guidelines to have a clearer understanding, and then ask other scholars, like previous scholars, what did you do, how did you do it. They can put you through, and if they don't answer you, message another person. If you have any question, or if you don't understand anything, or if you want me to do a particular kind of video, comment it below or send me a DM on Instagram or TikTok. As soon as I have the time, I would message. I will even find the time, because I also want to help people, because I did not find a lot of people that helped me. You get, it was YouTube videos that was there for me, not, scholar one-on-one. So yeah, so what I want to talk about now is the amount I spent while preparing for this application. I might not say everything, because there are some expenses I incurred that I don't even know how I incurred them during this application process. There are some things I just like, okay, I need to do this, like the citizen stamp. I who sent me message, I just wasted money, and then transport fare, because I was going from Lagos to Abeokuta, Lagos to Abeokuta, Lagos to Abeokuta, because my house I stay in Abeokuta, I live alone in Abeokuta, and then my parents and my family house is in Lagos, and then most of my properties are in Lagos. So going to Lagos to pick them up, going to Lagos to package the document, because it is more comfortable there to package the document, and I left my documents to my mom so she could pray on it before I sent it to Abuja. The power of prayers, man. The power of prayers. Then look at what God has done. The first thing I spent money on is my academic transcript. If you remember, I said I applied for this transcript twice. The first time via email, the second time to the ministry directly. So the one I did via email that did not go through, I spent 15,500, and then I could not get it back. No refund. The second time I spent 30,500. All these 500 and extra monies, like including charges, I went to find the receipt. So 30,500 for the second transcript I applied for, and that one is extra because I used NIPOST, so they sent it all the way to Ministry of Education in Abuja. My WAEC certificate, I spent 25,000 naira, including delivery, because it was way built from Lagos to Abeokuta. That was 5k for delivery, I think. And then the bus pack I paid for the required document to go to Abuja for the first time when I wanted to authenticate. I spent 8,000 naira. 6,000 naira for the way bill, 2,000 naira for the agents to collect it, to transport to the park to collect it. That's 8,000 naira. And then when I wanted to send documents back to me, I wanted to use DHL because I wanted my document to be in safe hands, and I thought I was not going to authenticate any other thing again, as per I was spending money. I now used DHL, although it was affordable. I used Z Express, and this Z Express logistics, they make use of DHL, so it was affordable. 13,000 naira to ship it back from Abuja to Lagos. Authentication fee, because I did not want to go and do the authentication myself, I had to pay agent, so I paid 80,000 naira for this agent. There are some extras in it, but then 80,000 naira in total. For affidavit, because I did affidavit for my parents to explain why their names are different on my birth certificate and their international passport. The affidavit cost 4,000 naira each. So that's 8,000 naira, because I did for both my parents. To authenticate my parents' affidavit, that's just two, I paid 6,000 naira. I don't know why it was affordable, and then doing my educational documents was expensive. Why you discriminating education and normal documents? So I gave the agent 6,000 naira to authenticate. It was not a lot compared to the 80k. And then the bus park for the affidavit to Webili to Abuja again, I spent 9,000 naira. It increased. 7,000 naira for the way bill and 2,000 naira for the agent to pick it up from the park. And then for it to come back, I spent the same amount. I did not use DHL again because the money was a lot. So I used bus park again. So 7,000 naira plus extra 2,000 naira to collect. There are some extra expenses like me going to the park. I did not even include all those ones. I had to do affidavit for proof of ownership, because when you are legalizing at any embassy, maybe it's the Korean embassy in Lagos or Abuja, you need proof of ownership of documents. So I had to prove that, okay, I'm the owner of this document. That's all 6 documents that I wanted to legalize. I did one affidavit for everything. That it cost 6,000 naira. I did citizen stamp. If you remember, I mentioned that I did citizen stamp on 6 documents, and it costs 2,000 naira per document. You can see it for 500 naira per document or 1,000 naira per document, but me, I went to a lawyer. I wanted it to be fast, so I paid 2,000 naira per document. That's 12k, and I was not even supposed to do 6 documents. I was supposed to do just 3. I was supposed to just spend half of that, but I spent 12k. That is by the way. Then legalization cost, it costs 6,000 naira per document, and I did for 6 documents. That is 36,000 naira. And later I found out that I did not need to legalize my WAEC. So I wasted 6,000 naira. I should have paid 30,000 naira. but oh well, I still submitted the WAEC like that. So I spent 36,000 naira on legalization. That's 6k per document, but I heard now that it is 7k per document, so you need to find out about that. So if you remember, I said that I was going from Lagos to Abeokuta, Lagos to Abeokuta, Lagos to Abeokuta. I went like 5 or 6 times, and it cost me 10k to transport myself, 5k to go, 5k to come. Sometimes it will be more than 5k, but let's just say 5k to go and come 6 times. That's 10k times 6, that's 60,000 naira on transport fare. And that is not that's not all, because I spent more. I can't even remember the transport fare, but then I remember this one, 60,000 naira on transport fare. And then when I wanted to submit my application, I used the same Z Express because I use them a lot. They are reliable. If you watch my GKS journey, you know why I paid extra 5,000 naira. I paid extra 5,000 naira to take it to this Z Express logistics office, because there was some delay in my application, and I had to order Uber ride, not Uber cow, Uber ride, 5,000 naira for it to go from Lagos to their office in Lagos. And then from their office in Lagos, that's the logistics office, they had to send my document to Abuja. That's my application, and it cost 13,000 naira to submit. It was almost 2 kg. So 0 to 2 kg is 13,000 naira. And then when I passed the first round and then I was called in for an interview, I went to Abuja. And I wanted to take public bus because I was like, to find money for flight. But God so good, my father came through. My dad helped me with this flight money, about 200k for the round trip flight, that's go and come. So like 100k to go, 100k to come. I think it was 105, I think. I'm not sure. But 100k to go, 100k to come, so about 200k. And then it gave me extra money. It gave me extra 150k as for feeding, accommodation, and tea fare. So that's in total, going to Abuja, I spent 350k, 200k for flights, 100k for feeding, accommodation, and transport fare within Abuja, because I had to transport myself to the hotel, because I stayed in the hotel. I had to transport myself to the Korean Cultural Center for the interview, and then back, and then from the hotel back to the airport, and then from the airport in Lagos back to my house. So it cost a lot. I'm sure that 150k is even, I spent more than that 150k. I added my money to it, but roughly that amount. The last thing I spent money on, I was supposed to say this earlier, printing your documents. You guys, hey, you have to find a place that you will be able to print for cheap, or if you have a printer at home that can help you. I spent like 15k on printing, and that is even small, because compared to other people, they are spending like double or times 3. I spent this 15k because this person, he does bulk printing business, so it was more affordable than the normal. I think I was printing one document for like 15 naira or 20 naira instead of 100 naira. So you see how affordable that is. And I did a lot of papers. There are even some I wasted. If you watch my GKS journey video, you'll see them. So I think that's that. The last thing I want to say, I've meant that I said the last thing I want to say. The last thing I want to say, read the guidelines. Read the guidelines, understand the form, understand the university you're going to, understand the course, understand, and you know how to defend yourself. If they say, oh, this, know how to say, okay, yes, I'm going for that. As if you're called for interview, know how to defend your personal statements, know how to know your application basically. And then acquire documents before you apply, because there's still time till the next year, February. Okay, I might be posting this video late, so there might not be time, but gather the documents, gather certificates relating to your major, extracurricular activities. Gather these documents, build your profile, make your profile strong, because there are so many people that they are not easy competition, but God just came through for me. And then pray God will do it. Manifest. Don't say, oh, I want to say, I have gotten it. That's what I did, and it worked for me, to the glory of God. So check out my video on the interview questions and answers from the embassy, that's the Korean Cultural Center Nigeria, and then the university interview. That will be in another video. So bye.